Hey everybody, today I'm doing a lesson on Tried and True by Ween. I'm playing acoustic guitar, which is not all that common for me on this channel, but there's not a whole lot of electric guitar to really talk about. There's some electric guitar, I'm pretty sure, when they play on the recording and when they play it live, but you can play everything all the guitar players you can play on acoustic guitar just fine, including some extra stuff, which I'll get into. Now, it's worth noting that my guitar is tuned down half a step and the recording is down roughly half a step, though it might be a little bit lower than, I'm pretty sure it's a little lower than half step. So if you just tune your guitar like normal half step down and try and play with the original recording, it's going to sound not quite right, not quite in tune, unless you figure out the exact amount that they're tuned down. But, you know, whatever. You can play this song just fine in standard tuning. That's what they do live. This guitar was just happened to already be tuned down half step, so I'm like, why not? Now, let's get into the foundation of the song, the riff, and kind of the verse. It starts here on the 5th fret of the G and B. This riff is going to utilize the G, B, and D strings. And it starts off here at the 5th fret, and you're going to want to play it with these two fingers, and then we're going to play other parts with these two fingers. And it's going to be great. Here's how it starts. You just play those, and then you lift off and play 4th and 3rd fret with the G and B respectively. Then you slide down 2 frets, and then you play them open. So you play them like that, then open twice. And then you play 2nd fret of the E along with the open G string. And then you play open G and B. And then you just want to play the 2nd fret of the E, the 2nd fret of the D string. It's not going to be the end of the world if you hit the G on that last part, but if you want to get super analytical and super specific about what they're playing, it's probably best just to play that one note. And then so that's the riff. And then you kind of go into that E minor chord and strum it a little bit. So it's... And then we get into the chord that kind of makes the song, this D sus2, which is just a D major chord, or D minor, because that's more close to the key that we're in. Kind of. It's weird. So it's just a D minor or D major chord, but the open E string at the top is completely, it's open. So and then you want to like strum that. Since, you know, usually you don't want that open E string like ringing through when you're playing a D chord, but since that string's open, I don't know if they play it like that live or even I don't know what's going on there, but if you want to, I mean, I don't think it sounds very bad, but if that's not what you want to go for, then by all means just do it starting from the A or from the D string. What is very important is the strumming and the picking. Now, for that riff, I think it's important to do all downstrokes because you don't want to hit that high E string. It's just when you're like alternate picking like that, I think it's a little bit easier to do that. But, you know, if you can do it easily with alternate picking, then by all means do it. But with the overall rhythm for the song, you want to have this sort of... You want to get the vibe right. You don't just want to go... You could do that, but it's going to lose a lot of the atmosphere, right? So, especially on that D sus2, you want to kind of rake it, you know. So you can sort of feel out how the song feels. And if you want to play along with that verse, but you don't want to do that riff, there's another rhythm guitar that's basically just playing chords. And those chords are C, A minor, and E minor. It sounds like this. C, A minor, E. So that's the verse, and then we get into the chorus, which is just 2 chords. It's just F and E minor. Sounds like this. sus2. That's how it ends. And if you want to add some fullness to the sound, then I recommend playing it like this, where it's the sort of Hendrix bar chord technique, where you're using your thumb for the low string, muting the A string with either your thumb or your ring finger. So it should be, if you want that to be muted. And then you hit 3rd, 2nd, 1st fret on the D, G, and B strings, and then 1st fret on the high E. So why would you want to play it like this in this particular occasion? So that you can do this. See how I added that? Because there's a guitar doing that on the recording, and I'm pretty sure they do that live. It's just a nice thing to add to fill out the sound. You don't need to do that by any means. I just think it adds to it. Especially if you're just playing it by yourself. I think it just adds a nice little amount of detail into it. Now, then we have the bridge after the second chorus where it's, you know... The chords are C, D minor, back to C, D minor again, then D sus2, and then we get into the solo section. And now all that is, again, it's just those two chords, but and the first time you play them, you just kind of want to go... Well, the first time. Then after that, you want to sort of strum them more. And then add this. That's, again, it's just adding that 1st to 3rd fret. And it's a lot easier to do in this D minor. And then the bridge, it's the solo section, is pretty much just the verse again. So, or, you know, just that's what's going on underneath it. It's just the verse, and then the chorus rhythm. That's all what's going under it. So it's basically just you're going through an extra verse and chorus underneath of it. Nothing too special about what's going on underneath. Before I add on to what you can do in the middle section, what they often kind of do live, I'll do the ending real quick. So the last chorus is just... So you want to kind of ride that D sus2 out on the song. You want to, and again, the strumming here is very important. You don't just want to go. You want to kind of make it feel like it's sort of fading out almost, even though it doesn't fade out. And then you just want to, again, scrape that to add that texture to it. You just, just boing. It's a nice sitar-esque sound to it to have on the guitar. And what you can also do is emulate the sort of organ or keyboard part going over it is, or maybe it's a guitar with the volume swell, I don't know. But what you can do is sort of do this. So just have that dun, 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 dun. But again, you don't want to go super hard, you just want to give it that accent. Again, that's strong. So that's all there is to the ending, and all that's really left is sort of optional stuff. You don't need to learn how to play this stuff, especially if you just want to skip soloing, just want to play the song. But what they do live is they adapt the, I guess it sounds to me like a real sitar on the recording, or maybe it's just a really good like it's just a really convincing effect that they put on a guitar or whatever. So you could play it on electric guitar, but you can also play it on acoustic guitar. So after that, it goes into, sorry. So that's just starting on the G, just, but so you go 5, 7 on the G, then 5 on the B, then right back down. And then from there, you go up the octave on the 8th fret of the high E. You climb down the scale of end on that last note, maybe with some vibrato just to make it sound nice. And then we do this kind of D minor arpeggio, but it's just with these 3 notes on the G, D, G, and B strings, with the 7th, then 6th fret on those respectively. So just you can just kind of rake that and just lightly strum it a little bit, and then rake down there and add the your pinky to the 8th fret of the B. Then climb back up, just scrape back up them. Make sure to pull off there. And then we go back through that scale again. And then we do this kind of bluesy lick. So you just bend up there. I know it can kind of be frustrating for some people to bend on an acoustic guitar because it's harder overall, but it's you want to make it sound like a whole step, even though it's not quite a whole step, I don't think. It's just, but you want to try and make it a whole step so it gets that nice sound. And when you're bending that last part down, you don't want to go. You want to bend it back down. You know, just, and then you go down there again. Kind of classic blues lick, but it's on a sitar, so it sounds pretty cool. And then we, after that, go through that lick again, and then we go through this arpeggio thing again. It might be slightly different, but it sounds pretty much the same to me from what I remember. And then we go through that lick one more time, and then we end on this sort of, well, not end, but the last sort of sitar line is another bluesy one. And that's just sort of simplified from that last one. You don't need to go quite as high for that one. You don't need to bend quite as high. It's just, and then after that, you don't have to learn how to play this part. I just like to, because I like being able to play the whole song on a guitar. It's sort of emulating the organ or keyboard part that's in there. And that kind of sounds like this. So that's just, what is that, 7 and 6 on the G and B. Then you add, you can do that with your pinky, or you can do it with these 2 fingers. I prefer to do it with my pinky, I guess. It really doesn't matter. So just add that on the 8th fret of the B, and then 5th of the G and B again, just like the beginning of the riff, except I prefer to do it with my finger like this. And then you can kind of do this. So that's same 2 notes, and then you emphasize that note on the G, and then we play fourth and third on the G and B, and then you slide up to the 10th on the G, climb back down to the 9th and 7th, then we slide back up here to the 10th of the B, so just pull off, or you could slide, and end on that 7th of the G, and then end it after that with a big old D sus2, and then it's back into the verse, back into the chorus, and then you get to the end. So that's pretty much everything. Hope you enjoyed learning all those parts for the song, including the parts of the other instruments that I just thought were really cool to add in. This is such a great song, man. Such a moving song. I think it's one of those songs that a lot of people hear. One of the first songs people hear when they sort of start getting into Ween, because it really shows off like their songwriting prowess and their instrumentation prowess and their ability to craft a mood, and that they're anything but just a joke. They can be pretty jokey a lot of the time, but that doesn't show that they're like gimmicky. That just shows that they're not afraid to do anything, no matter what genre or style. They do whatever, man, and they're capable. They're great songwriters. I think that's what puts them above so many other bands. Not just that they're one of my favorites, but because they are a legitimately great band. And because they connect with people like me, and hopefully like you. Anyway, hope you enjoy learning this song. Hope I helped you learn this song. Hope I at least taught you something about how it's played or how you can learn how to play it. And have a great day.